That's what's so difficult about the golf swing sometimes, is the littlest things can make the biggest effect on your swing motion. Because if I start messing around with this lead hand, I'm actually messing around with my ability to square a club face. So that's the difficulty when you start making these little changes. But the lead thumb is interesting to me because when I would watch Mo hit golf balls, and I noticed this a lot. First of all, I thought his hands looked so perfect on the golf club, how he gently rested his hand on the club to where it created a neutral position, which was how he squared the face. But I always saw this gap between the thumb and the index finger. I saw a gap in there. In other words, I didn't see him close this gap like this. He didn't pinch it off. He had this released ulnar deviated wrist, which then put the thumb into a medium length position. I know Hogan talked about the length of the thumb as well, but I have this nice medium length thumb. Well, a couple factors with that, and we'll talk about what's happening in the leverage of the club. When I have the thumb in the correct position, it allows my hand to get ulnar deviated correctly. And I don't want you to stress the wrist out. Don't stress the shoulder out. Just let the hand, look at that. I'm not stressing the shoulder, it's in flexion, but I'm just ulnar deviating the hand. It goes into that little unhinging. So that's where I want it. And it lets the thumb be somewhat extended. I don't want it too long because then I can't ulnar deviate. And I don't want it too short because then it makes it difficult in the backswing. We'll talk about that. So I got this medium length thumb with a gap right here. Now, when I overlap, I fit my middle finger and my ring finger right there into that gap. And so now, but in order to get that gap, I have my fingers very close together. That's another very important part. That's where I get the pressure, is holding the club into this ulnar deviated hand, and then I set the thumb down into that medium length position. Then I wrap my hand around there, and my thumb fits right into my hand. So now my lead hand is nicely positioned on the club. You know, call it strong, call it weak. I don't call it any of those things because it's just in a neutral position where I square the face. And it has to do with my arm and shoulder position as well. So I create this nice alignment with my hand fully released, with that thumb position in alignment there. Now, from here, when I take the club back into the backswing and my hand goes from an ulnar deviated position to a radial deviated position, look at the thumb.